Hi, everybody. If you're interested in the latest stories that are floating around the internet, I'm going to write them down so I don't forget. I created a couple of videos today, which I do not normally do. And of course, they got copyrights because I used pictures from Netflix and some of the music was in there. So, my name is Lasha. If you're interested in royal stories from the past, my predictions in reference to the royal family in the future, if you're interested in the theory of Jeffrey Epstein being alive and what I perceive the survivors could be going through duo emotions at the same time. I want to talk about, I'm so sorry, India Oxenberg. So I have a little bit of ADHD. I come on impromptu all of the time. So I'm just going to start off with the date today. Today's Thursday, the 12th of February of 2026. You know, Thursday, February the 12th of 2026. So before I go down these different conspiracy rabbit holes, I'll repeat what I repeated on my live this morning, wherein I did not believe in conspiracies at all in any way, shape, or form. Do you remember back in 2010 and 2012 when Oprah was really, really big? Now, I'm 54, so I grew up watching Oprah from the 80s until her last show, right up until she started her network OWN, which I thought was so clever. OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network. I'm not going down that rabbit hole tonight because real conspiracies and real parenting and real friendships and your reality starts in utero. What does Jeffrey Epstein, the royal family, my prediction about the royal family, the prediction about COVID that I had that came to fruition, I did not bestow this on myself. It was not God speaking to me. There was nobody speaking to me. It was a gut reaction. Okay. If you're interested in what I'm going to talk about, if you can't stay for the entirety of this live, I won't be offended if you leave. And if you don't like it right now, I do urge you to come back when I'm finished because when I get on a roll, I get on a roll. However, just to set you up with who I am, I have a little bit of ADHD, so I get a little off topic sometimes. I'm just going to just take a moment and read some comments for the people that have taken time out of their lives to listen to what I'm going to say. Also about Ghislaine Maxwell and Virginia Giuffre and why I believe Ghislaine Maxwell was such a sociopathic monster. I keep losing the top to my pen. Of course I do. Hello, Axe. Hello, Alien. Or is it Elaine? And hello, 10. At any rate, okay, so, um, let me just start with, the conspiracies that I'm gonna cover. All right, so again, okay, Charlie Kirk and Erica Kirk. What can I add to this conversation that I've not heard anybody talk about is their marriage. All right? I'm not insinuating that Erica Kirk planned or knew or had anything to do with anything. These are my alleged thoughts from my peanut brain gallery in Canada, all right? I'm from Grimsby, Ontario, Canada. So what do I know? And by liking this video, it does give the algorithm. Ron Swanson explained it on the Sean Atwood channel. So, Charlie Kirk, we're going to talk about the Epstein dumps and how Donald Trump is the best thing, and he's the best thing. Let me, before, don't mince my words or take this out of context. Donald Trump is the best thing that ever happened to America. He metaphorically talked about draining the swamp, and he did. He sent Roger Stone to jail, who, from the Epstein drops, one of the chefs said that they saw a man with a tattoo of Richard Nixon on his back, and the doof didn't know who it was. It was Roger Stone. Roger Stone started with the Nixon campaigns. This chef talked about men being in animal masks, just like in 2012 when True Detective was made with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey. Men in masks, sacrifices, children. Everybody thinks it's too sick because it is not polite conversation. And the royal family, in particular, need to be exposed for who they are. I am so sorry. The royal blood is getting diluted. All right? Kate and William are seventh cousins, by the way. But I'm talking like Prince Charles hung around the likes of Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. Why do I think Jeffrey Epstein is alive? Why do you take a picture of a dead person and show their face in the news? Have you ever heard of body doubles? Well, Kate has one. Melania has one. Is it unlikely? Maybe. Is it impossible? No. He's in Israel or Russia. They switched bodies. That's where the tape went. There's no killer. And Donald Trump is so stupid, and he's such an unwitting egomaniac who never thought he would be caught. But he was caught. Just like he knew Erica Kirk before Charlie. Just like Charlie was in the dark about so much bullshit. And then he found out the truth. And I think him and Erica had a very rocky marriage. And she had nothing to do with it. She did grieve very strangely, but maybe she grieved the end of the marriage a long time ago. I remember watching a video of Erica Kirk and Charlie Kirk talking about conservatism, and she reminded me of Fred Waterford and Serena Joy from The Handmaid's Tale. Oh, and I'm reading the Bible every day, and there are handmaidens. I'm not joking. That's rape. Oh, sorry, I'm not allowed to say that. The Old Testament is about the wrath of God. The New Testament is different. And as I'm reading the Old Testament, I understand the New Testament. And if all of you think that Jesus didn't exist, then you should all go away. It's scientifically impossible that he didn't exist. And I'll tell you why. Do you all believe in dreams? Do you all believe in apparitions? Do you believe in evil forces and good forces? Then how can you not believe in the Bible and in good and evil? It's a spiritual war. Where do our souls go? Where do our souls go? Do we watch over loved ones? I don't know. But it doesn't end here. Quantum physics even proves that. When Jesus was crucified, those Romans were trained killing machines. There was a tombstone for Jesus that was guarded by 6 men. Tell me, folks, how did 6 trained Roman medieval amygdalas, unevolved, and get off on torturing people? And if it took 6 men to move one rock, tell me how Jesus disappeared. Was there a tunnel? Did he dig his way down and suddenly appear? Interestingly enough, before he visited his apostles, which I don't know if anybody is aware of this, um, little did I know, not only did Jesus go to his apostles, he went to 500 women. Why? Because Jesus believed that women were equal. Okay? Um, yeah, Trevor, I haven't been feeling well. My mother's been sick all day today. And oh, thank you, sweetheart. And I just wanted to come live and talk about this stuff. But I believe that Ghislaine Maxwell was so cruel to Virginia Giuffre, Sarah Ranson, was trafficked to Richard Branson, who is affiliated with Nexium, Keith Raniere. His own daughter, India Oxenberg, was having intimate relations with Keith Raniere. I even knew he was disgusting when I was 17 years old and I watched him and his consumer buying program. I really honestly thought, are these people idiots? And he's the smartest man in the world. Well, there was internet in the early 2000s, and you don't do your research on your boss and you just take somebody's word at it. That's the way society used to be. And that's one cultural shift that I've noticed over the last 20 years. Giselle Maxwell hurt those women because, based on all the research, based on the Epstein drops, based on everything, Ghislaine Maxwell was so in love with Jeffrey Epstein, she had that Oedipus system, or that Freudian thing where your daughter's in love with her father, because Epstein obviously essayed her, groomed her, ready for Epstein. They knew each other in the 80s. These people do not think the way we do. And I've talked about this over and over again. It's a dopamine hit. They have everything in the world. When you have all the money in the world, what do you have left to get your kicks? And I never want to be in that kind of position. And even if I was, it wouldn't change me. And what bothers me is everybody complains and complains and complains and complains and complains and talks and talks and talks and talks. Then why don't we all gather up together like an army, pick one corruption piece after another, whatever you want it to be, army together and do something about it. In order to create change, you have to make change. You have to talk about it. But what kind of change do you want to make? If you were in charge, what would you do differently? What strategies can you, like, look at the way Charlie tried to bring everybody together for something so evil. And the reason Donald Trump is the best thing that ever happened in the world is because he's Lucifer in the flesh. In my humble Canadian opinion, with no university background, my opinion, Ghislaine was jealous of those women. That's why she physically hurt them. Read Virginia Giuffre's Nobody's Girl. It's disgusting. That's why, because women are cruel. They can be very, very cruel. I'm not saying men can't. They can be. But usually with women, they're a little more merciful. Usually. And Virginia Giuffre, I think there's prophets of all different kinds. She went through the most abuse I've ever heard of in any person in my life. And that all started with Emily Maitlis sitting down with that disgusting Prince Andrew with, "We come to Buckingham Palace in very unusual circumstances. Usually we be talking about your duty, your work. We'll come on to that. But for now, we're talking about Epstein." Emily gave him every chance. And do you know the pieces about the sweating and the dancing and the pizza? Isn't it ironic it was the pizza? Never mind. You know where I'm going with this. And as far as royals, all their blood is getting diluted anyway. Why do we have them? In 30 years, they won't exist. William and Kate and the kids should just take their money and run, because all of the money that the royal family has literally arred and pillaged the Commonwealth, Canada, all of the BS with Harry and Meghan, it's all just crap. They're all bad characters. Those were a lot of thoughts to unwrap. 19 minutes and 27 seconds of me ranting about things that are bothering me, because I know as just like COVID, there's something that's going to change. Oh, mark my words. And Trump is so stupid. He drained the swamp, but he thought he was so invincible he would never expose himself. Anyways, Sean Atwood is live right now talking about the Epstein files. I'll see you all over there. That's a wrap, everybody. Hi, Jay Bella. I'm trying to give Erica grace. I know he did, but then he wouldn't dump the files. It was the DOJ. And I've done so much reading on it. But what I was going to say is, for a different point of view, one of the things I do is I'm subscribed to people that I just do totally disagree with. Because sometimes I like to hear their opinion. Like I painfully sat through the James English interview with Lady Victoria Harvey 2 years ago, and I was screaming at the TV because Lady Victoria Harvey was trying to rip apart Virginia Giuffre and that Andrew was squeaky clean and Virginia was lying. And now look what's come out, the truth. So I even Megan Kelly, I don't know what's going on with her lately, but I'm watching. There's something going on with her. She's being pressured, and I don't know what it is. I don't. But something is really going to change. And when you said, God help us all, we are run by a bunch of uber rich, disgusting people. And you know what, Jay? Try and watch the whole thing because I have to go. That's a wrap for now. Um, my mother has been so deathly ill today. It scared me. All right, Trevor, that's why I've been all over the place today. And I'm very dehydrated. So I want to do good in the world. I don't want to report on stuff like this. That's why it's got to change. It breaks me up, you know? Anyway, what can we do collectively? Pick a cause. Is it jails? Is it child services? Is it the elites? Is it what is your biggest issue? And let's talk about each issue on this channel and really think about a strategy to change things, whether it be a petition or hooking up with other larger platforms. You know, I'm a very curious person, and I've never been this engaged in my life in my whole life. And I appreciate all of you. And 5 people subscribed today and it blew me away. And thank you so much. And Trevor, your channel's doing amazing. I'm proud of all of you. I love all of you. I hope this wasn't boring or anything. Um, and I need to go have a nap. Um, my eyes are sore too. But at any rate, all right. Good night, everybody. And that's a wrap.